Hello, I'm Markus Vanhala from Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum, and you are watching the Impact channel.
Greetings everyone, our guest today is Markus Vanhala from Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. Hello, welcome back to Dublin.
Hello.
How are you doing? How is the tour so far?
It's been great, cold and wet as always
It is.
during this time in UK and Ireland, but really nice to be back here with Insomnium. The last time was 6 years ago, so it's long overdue that we've been playing in Ireland.
You played with Omnium Gatherum not so long time ago at the 70,000 tons of metal cruise. How was the experience?
Yeah, it was just like a weekend before this UK tour, and that was the fourth time for me to play there. We've been there 2 times with Insomnium and 2 times with OG, and it's always great. It's something completely different. Playing metal under the Caribbean sun in the Caribbean Sea, and just visiting Miami before that, and
Sounds awesome.
yeah, and it is.
Do you work on the new Omnium Gatherum album now, by the way?
Yeah, we're slowly starting to write some new stuff. I have something like 4 song skeletons ready at the moment, so after this tour I again have a little bit more time at home, so I always need my time at home and my isolation to be alone to make the songs. I'm not capable of doing writing on the tour at all, so that's always the time challenge. Trying to come as good songs as we can, and we don't want to rush the new record. We don't have any deadlines set yet, so we just want to make the best album we can whenever it comes out, next year or after 10 years, I don't know, someday.
Talking about tour, what are the most essential things that you bring with yourself on tour?
Guitars.
Interesting.
Yeah, guitars, passport, toothbrush, that's basically all you need.
Like especially like a teddy bear from home or something?
No, nothing. Phone, that's basically phone and credit card, so if you miss something you can buy it.
Okay, let's talk about the gear. What do you use in the studio and what do you use on the stage?
I'm always using the Jackson guitars. I've been playing Jacksons 25 years, like a brand new custom shop. I again ordered a new one and I should get it like this year. And those are my main weapons, and I'm also endorsed by EVH amplification, so I use EVH cabinets and EVH amplifiers in studio and on stage, and also on stage I have the XFX2 fractal audio preamp, which is really easy to use. I always have my own setup with me and I carry the thing in the plane, so it's really easy. And the sound guys love it, you don't have to mic anything, just put the cables on and it sounds great.
What about the strings?
I'm also endorsed by SET strings, the US brand, so I use those 11 to 50. It's a custom made packet.
Emotionally, what is the difference when you play with Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum?
Good question. Well, Insomnium is more mellow and more melancholic, and it's more calm, and Omnium Gatherum is maybe more rock and roll. Insomnium have more like backing tracks and stuff, and then on OG it doesn't have any backing tracks, so OG is more like a live band, so the feeling is pretty different in the bands, and in Insomnium you have to be gloomy, and OG is more about having fun and just more punk. I love the difference between the bands. It really gives me something not to play in 2 similar kinds of bands, so also the stage action and the setup is different, and I'm on the different side of the stage in different bands, and in OG I play white guitars and Insomnium black guitars, so I try to keep myself under the radar. Which band is this? Color codes.
And where do you go for inspirations nowadays?
I have no idea. Sometimes I have to search it a lot. I really had like a dry period at the end of the last year. Again, my creative juices were empty, and I was thinking like, there's nothing coming anymore. That's always what happens when you're an artist. It sucks to be a songwriter because it's not like every day you can do new songs. It's like I don't know where it comes from. Before this tour I made like 3 new OG songs and I just felt right. And
So it just comes from the within.
yeah, it is some strange force of the nature or state of mind. And I always have to keep like some period that I don't write anything. Because I just have to empty my tanks and do the album ready and then just don't think about composing at all for a few months and then slowly it starts again. And because nothing comes out forcing yourself, it has to be natural that it comes, and that's usually how the best songs are made.
Are you inspired by books, movies, or other things which is not music?
It can come a lot of many different kind of places, like movies, for example, like poems. On the new Insomnium album, some old Finnish poems inspired me and stories, and also living in Finland, it's nature is near, so I'm always walking in the woods, and I'm living in a coast, so maybe I could say sea is a big influence for me. I'm always walking around the coast with my dog and thinking about some musical ideas, so it can come in many different places.
Would you compose a soundtrack if you had a chance?
That would be really interesting, for real. I've been thinking that many times. Like, I'm a huge fan of like a Hans Zimmer, for example, great soundtrack composer. So it would be a really nice idea. I made it without guitars at all. Like just made a symphonic, and because it's easy nowadays with all the software, synths and computer, it's really easy to compose symphonies. So if I would have time, I would love to try to do something like that. If I would ever do a soundtrack, I think it would be more symphonic and like a painting, the landscapes kind of. I would love to do like a music for some nature documents. I love like this one document by, I don't know who is the old guy, who is the best. I just missed the name now, but the Blue Planet or Ocean Planet, which is about the oceans, the nature TV series. There was like music composed by Hans Zimmer, and I just love that because of the ocean, and the music was such a great combination. I would love to do something like that. Documentary about Norwegian wolves in the Norwegian mountains and compose some epic black metal symphonies for that. I would love that.
Sounds cool. If your music was transferred into another art form like painting, movie, or art exhibition, what do you imagine for that?
Maybe nature photography. I always get the inspiration from nature, and like sometimes I'm even that cheesy that I just Google some nature pictures and just look at those pictures of landscapes and then gets humming you some melodies. So it would definitely be that pictures of landscapes.
And who would be your dream painter or artwork designer to make a cover for you, an album cover? Dead or alive, doesn't matter.
Akseli Gallela, the old Finnish painter who have made a lot of these Finnish Kalevala things. And who is this Norwegian guy? I'm really bad on the names, you know. This guy who have painted these old paintings from Bursum, and I really love that old Norwegian guy.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either, but I know.
Yeah, already second name I don't remember. Getting old.
How would you express yourself if there was no music in your life?
Be angry and fight. I don't know. I'm a Finnish man. I'm pretty bad on speaking and antisocial, and so that's why music is really easy form of art and expressing myself. I would think I would be a rally driver. I like fast cars. I like to drive fast with my cars at home, so if that's an expression of feeling, if you count driving fast, it might be.
What's your favorite brand?
Brand?
Favorite car?
I have a Chevrolet Corvette at home, 80s. So Chevrolet. Or Dodge. I have a crush for the old muscle cars. If I would, maybe my dream car of all times would be like a Dodge Challenger from the 1970. Too big engine and all the stuff. before the oil crisis when the cars were great.
If you could summon a historical person and a mythical creature for a chat, who would you pick and why?
Summon or Cthulhu. Cthulhu to be my friend and pet at home.
Like in the South Park episode?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, what are your plans after the tour?
Being home a few days and going to Dubai to play some metal. This year is pretty crazy. You know, we have so much gigs booked up. Like after this tour, we have February gigs in Dubai and Finland, and after that we are going to USA for 6 weeks, doing double duty with Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum, same tour. So I will be happy to play 2 gigs every night, which makes like something like 70 shows during a little bit over 1 month. And after that we do Scandinavia, the same concept like both bands. And then it's summer festival, so somewhere in the middle I try to compose new Omnium Gatherum stuff and try to also pretend like a normal person and be home a little bit with my wife and animals. I wonder when.
May the force be with you.
Always.
If you had a chance to pick the bands for an Insomnium or Omnium Gatherum tribute album, who would you like to hear to cover your songs?
Typo, Negative and Death. Unfortunately, it's pretty impossible because Chuck Solomon and Peter Steele are dead, but
still a great choice.
Yeah.
Please list your 5 favorite albums of all time.
This is hard one. I'm a huge music collector and I love music, so this is always a hard question. But let's pick at the moment, like, well, Some of the Seven Son by Iron Maiden, October Rust by Typo Negative, Anthems to the Welking at Dusk by Emperor. This is hard.
Something from Death?
Yeah, good. Symbolic from Death, and maybe Painkiller by Judas Priest, because that's what the heavy metal is all about.
Right. What's the meaning of life?
To be happy and do what you want to do and try to do what you love to do and not to harm any others while doing it.
Any last words to your fans?
Keep metal alive. Keep on checking the new bands and come to the gigs and be happy. Enjoy.
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.